In the spirit of the holidays, we want you to celebrate with your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicappers and do it at a discount by giving you a one-time 25% off everything you can fit into your cart between now and midnight on December 25th using coupon code GIFT25 when checking out. While this coupon can only be used once at WagerTalk and once at Sports Memo, the value is unlimited and there is no limit on what you can add to your cart when redeeming. Daily, all access, season, pick your team, and even mix and match handicappers as the combinations are endless. Remember, there is no limit to the number of handicappers at WagerTalk and Sports Memo you can lock in, but coupon code GIFT25 will expire at midnight on Christmas. On behalf of everyone at WagerTalk, Sports Memo, and Gold Sheet, we want to thank you for supporting us in 2022 by watching our videos, following us on social media, and trusting us with your wagers. However you celebrate, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Hey guys, welcome in a very happy, well, I guess it's Friday now, I think, right? Oh, yep, Friday, definitely Friday. It is December 23rd and big holiday weekend coming up. And you know what that means right around this time of year? Plenty of NBA action, including some monster matchups there on Christmas Day. And we'll go over that schedule as well as a loaded slate tonight. 11 games, I believe, on tap. Some new news breaking across the association. And, of course, we've got you covered here on the NBA Tip-Off Show. We're going to break these games down, of course, with three of the finest. You guys know who they are as we welcome back in the prop god, Mr. Birthday Guy. There he is, Andy Lang. Happy birthday, Andy. Very nice. Tony Mejia in the house, and Mr. Rob Vino ready to roll here, guys, on a fantastic NBA weekend, and it's going to start tonight. What a slate of games we've got here. And Andy, on your birthday, man, what is going on your card here? You got a bunch of stuff locked and loaded, ready for the weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. Really excited about the NFL slate. Actually, I think some of the weather actually helps some of the props. Yeah, I think the books have struggled with some of these games, and we can wait or you can jump on them now if you got a pretty good read on the weather. And we got a loaded slate in the NBA. This has to be the most games in a night that we've had this season. So that pack is up. This is by far the most plays we've had in a night. I think we've got 4 with another one on the way. And one of those plays is going to be my best bet for the show. So it should be an unbelievable night. Very cold here in Indianapolis. So I'm just going to settle up on the couch, watch some NBA, have an amazing meal, and enjoy my birthday.
That is it sounds like a fantastic opportunity here. And, of course, cash a few tickets along the way. Tony Mejia, always a good idea. I know you got a little buffet rolling here, whether it be NBA, maybe even a little college basketball game, NFL, bowl games. What's going on, man, over at WagerTalk?
Happy birthday to Andy Lang, first and foremost. And, we've got bowl games are up. 4% play in the Gasparilla Bowl, which actually a year ago today, I was at the Gasparilla Bowl with my daughters.
Yes.
On UCF, and they beat the Gators' ass. So fond memories of that. And NBA, plenty of stuff tonight. So we have a package up. I'll have a NFL package obviously up tomorrow. Is rolling really well on the NBA till I believed in the Jets last night. But on the bright side, we were on Air Force and the 5% play thanks to my friend Jordan Goodwin of the Washington Wizards and the late three-pointer hits last night. It looked like garbage time was going to be an epic fail. It was like stuck at 228 there when I needed to get up over 230. Goodwin hits a 3. We get a free throw for good measure over 232 yesterday in Jazz Wizards for a 5% cash. So happy for those who are in on that. And we'll have another 5% probably this weekend and a couple of next week. And I think, spoiler alert, I don't think I'll get in trouble for it, will be the $2 Tuesday handicapper next Tuesday. So try to close out 2022 with a bang.
All right. Broke about 12 rules there, but that's all right. We won't go into them. You are squared away. And speaking of ass, I think I got those shot quality numbers, Rob Vino. How are you, man? We've got what do you got locked and loaded, Vino, for us here heading into the weekend?
Oh, man. How I love when I show up on these shows and you're the host, Joe. I tell you what, I absolutely love that. Hey, let me be the next in line to say happy birthday to Mr. Andy Lang. It's a heck of a weekend. Birthday, holiday. I guess your birthday is a holiday, Andy. Here we go. I will say that up on WagerTalk.com. God, I almost forgot where I work. WagerTalk.com. We have a pair of 5% bowl plays up and available as we speak. They're for a few days down the road. Bowl games are red hot at this point in time. 5-1 over the course of the last 8 weeks of college football heading into today. Number one profit leader at WagerTalk. So college football has been really, really good. We do have a play on tonight's game, also up and available right now at WagerTalk.com, as well as NBA action. Joe, 3 plays from NBA here tonight. And I got a jump on Christmas Day action. There is one Christmas Day NBA play up and available once again, WagerTalk.com.
All right. Well, we'll touch base on those slated games here and see if there's one in particular you guys are looking forward to here on Christmas Day. But we're gonna hop on board the contrarian play of the days. The contrarian gods have been red hot here on the show, and tonight, well, they're at it again here because they're looking at Toronto getting 4.5 in Cleveland, as it appears nobody wants to step in front of the Cavs train, except for the contrarian gods, that is. 4.5 is that number. They have been phenomenal. What can you say? 16-2 straight up, 14-4 against the number at home this season. They're on a 5-0 straight up run. And when you put it all together, Andy, the gods are like, screw you. We want Toronto 4.5. Talk to me. What do you think of this matchup? Who are you focusing on, if anybody, in this game?
Well, to me, all eyes should be on the defense of OG Anunoby, and I think that this is going to end up being a low-scoring game, so those points are really, really valuable. The Raptors' defensive rating without OG Anunoby, 126.7, with him, 112.3. It is night and day how much better this Raptors team is with him in the lineup. So if I'm looking towards a defensive battle in this game, I'm going to look for some guys to take unders on. And what I've noticed when OG plays, the opponent kind of has 1 or 2 guys that do really well and score a majority of the points, and then the supporting cast, the rest of the team, seems to struggle. So, against Philly, Embiid and Tobias Harris were the only guys to score over 14 points. The rest of the team really struggled. Against the Knicks, Randall and Barrett went for 30 each. Quickly at 20, everyone else was 10 or fewer points. So I'm trying to narrow down who's going to struggle for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think it's Darius Garland under 19.5 points. I don't know if there is slowing down Donovan Mitchell at this point right now. He's just an incredible shooter. He can get his own shot, and if he's in the zone and he's playing really well tonight, it wouldn't surprise me if the Raptors just say, okay, Donovan, we're going to let you get your 30 or 35 points. I looked at Siakam, but he's playing so well, I don't want to take him under. Darius Garland has been inconsistent at times. I would feel very nervous if I'm depending on Darius Garland to score 20 points in a big game, and this is a really big game. So I think Mitchell's going to have a good game. I'm still waiting on the injury report to see about the bigs of Cleveland. But for now, I think Darius Garland is going to be much more of a facilitator tonight. I would look him over assists, but my favorite play in this one is Garland under his points.
Okay, Garland under the points. Mobley still questionable, at least last I checked there, along with Lamar Stevens. Birch and Trent Jr. questionable for Toronto. So certainly does, well, it shouldn't shock us, Mejia, right? I mean, the public, everyone running to bet and hop on the streak to Cleveland. I don't know if there's anybody that might give them a problem, especially if Mobley's out. Might be this Toronto team here. How are you looking at this?
Yeah, I mean, the Raptors finally snapped that long losing streak with Spicy P going for what, 52 against the Knicks in the Garden. And yeah, he's obviously playing really well and will be an issue for the Cavs whether Mobley plays or not. But it's funny the way the questionable tag works in the league. If you pop up on the injury report as questionable, that's a problem. If you've been out and you're upgraded to questionable, you're probably going to play. So that's a good sign for Gary Trent Jr. and Kemp Birch on the Raptors side, and for Lamar Stevens on the Cavs side. And Stevens underrated in that starting five because he plays glue guy. He concentrates on defense, lets everybody handle their roles well, minimizes the need for Isaac Okoro to play off the bench, and lets Karis LeVert do what he does in a six-man role. But the Cavs have been lights out at home. I would take the points here with the Raptors, so I guess I am on the contrarian side. But I kind of like the under here a little better, especially if we do get Evan Mobley for another shot blocking presence and somebody that Siakam would have to deal with. Neck and neck for the lowest total on the board here with this Cavs Raptors game right there with the Clippers and 76ers. Both of them, I think, have a good shot of going under, but under would be the play here, especially if Trent plays and is a little rusty and we get Stevens back and the Cavs look like themselves. Cavs obviously play at a slower pace and have one of the top defensive ratings. And then, as Andy mentioned, when OG Anunoby's in the lineup, he's one of the top perimeter defenders in the NBA all of a sudden. So Toronto can settle in, and it should be a competitive game. So, yeah, I lean Raptors with the gods, and I like the under two.
Yeah, it could very well be a rock fight here, Vino, because both teams are very capable of making offenses miserable. But you and the contrarian gods, you have not seen eye to eye in about 2 years now. So part of me doesn't believe any of that is going to change here, but we're going to throw it out to you anyway. What do you think about Toronto-Cleveland here tonight?
Yeah, you know what, Joe? Push comes to shove in this game, I would prefer having the points, the plus 4.5. So I'm with the gods. Couple of reasons that these guys already mentioned, but let's start with, there's so many reasons I could sit on each side of the fence and make a case for both sides, but the Cavs are off of a big win against the Bucks. You knew how big it was post game when Donovan Mitchell mentioned to anybody who would listen to him how big of a win that was. And so do they bounce back the same way here tonight? Not so sure, but Darius Garland has been very vocal about how Toronto's already beaten them twice this year. And his quote, I think, was, they need to come to our house twice. So they're kind of ready for the Raptors to enter. And the Cavaliers' home record is indisputable, right? 16-2 straight up, 14-4 against the spread. So they're a tough out at home. However, I think the Raptors are on the ascension here. The last two wins, point spread wins, not straight up wins, but the last two games have been point spread wins. And they come against good teams. The Knicks were on that 8-game winning streak. I think Tony mentioned it. And Anunoby goes crazy. Siakam goes crazy in Anunoby's first game back. They win that one. But prior to that, 7-point underdogs get the job done against the Sixers as well. So those two performances show me that Toronto's trying to make up for some lost time where they just muddled through because of injury. And if, in fact, Gary Trent Jr. does play, that means really the only guy left to join this team would be Achua, Precious Achua, the only guy left on the injury list. So they're getting healthier at this point in time. Like I mentioned, they have won couple already against this team. And I know that Cleveland had a couple of unfortunate absences in those games. Darius Garland, I think, in fact, got poked in the eye in one of them and wound up going out of that game. But when I size them up, Joe, I come up with equal arguments on both sides. So for me, it would be take the 4.5 here with Toronto.
All right, there it is, guys. We got a sweep here. Toronto, those 4.5 points hanging out there. Keep an eye on that injury report as well for Cleveland. But that is the contrarian play of the day. Let's focus on a featured matchup here tonight. We'll head out west as the Memphis Grizzlies, who apparently just don't like to win on the road, are going on the road against the Phoenix Suns. No Booker, no Roger, no rerun, no rent, people. 226.5 is the total. Andy, what do you think here? Is there anybody in particular prop betting wise you'd focus in on these two teams?
Yeah, a couple plays I like in this one. I'm kind of all in on the Grizzlies in this matchup, and it's an obvious play, but let's go back to Ja Morant. take his points, rebounds, and assists at 42.5. He had that early ejection on Saturday, and he comes back Tuesday with a huge game against Denver. It was his worst rebounding performance of the year. I think he had a rebound, and he still got over his points, rebounds, and assists. I just don't trust this Phoenix team right now. They lost to the Wizards, who didn't even have Porzingis. I don't believe they beat New Orleans. That took a 58-point game from Booker. Booker is out. Perimeter defense is just not very good for Phoenix. Bradley Beal and Kyle Kuzma combined for 56 points against them. So they're kind of piecing together this team right now. It feels like they're in a slump, and this just feels like a John Morant big game at Phoenix for him to put on a show. And if I'm going all in on the Grizzlies, I'm going to take the Suns team total under at 112.5 with no Devin Booker. I think they really struggle against Memphis. Listen to these. This is a 10-game sample size of the last 10 games for the Grizzlies. They're the number one defensive team the last 10 games, number one defensive rebounding team last 10 games, most blocks the last 10 games, and they allow the least amount of points in the paint the last 10 games. So their defense is just dialed in right now. Ayton has had some big games, but he's going up against a defense that is just completely locked in. And without Booker, they really don't have that natural shot creator. I think this is a tough game for Phoenix. I think Morant has a big game, and I think they get it done. I think the Suns struggle in this one.
All right, looking for the Suns to struggle a little bit. How about it, Vino? Is there a side in this one you'd prefer to be on tonight?
Well, one of the old sports betting adages, Joe, is don't get angry and chase money. That being said, I'm very angry and I'm going to chase money because Memphis stole my money the other night.
Yep.
I was all in on them. That had to be the worst offensive performance they've had all season long in Denver, 105-91. If you weren't named John Morant in that game, you stunk offensively. They get Desmond Bane back tonight. I don't know what we can expect midseason form Desmond Bane, but certainly it lengthens out the rotation here against a team that, as Andy pointed out in Phoenix, that's depth shy at this point in time. I think Memphis, they've had 2 full days to kind of stew over that lousy loss in Denver, and they do have Golden State on deck on Christmas Day on Sunday. So I think they're going to try and make the most out of this West Coast or Western Conference road swing here by defeating Phoenix and by defeating Golden State. Even without Devin Booker, they're still going to Phoenix. You're still motivated by playing Phoenix, and the same will hold true on Sunday when they play Golden State. Personnel-wise, they're better at this point in time because Phoenix is banged up. And I just think motivationally, off of the bad loss in Denver the other night, you have to expect their shooting percentages to come back. I think it was Andy pointed out the defensive numbers. They're very good for Memphis at this point in time. And I don't know that Phoenix has enough scorers to keep up here. So I'm all in on Memphis as well. I think laying the 2.5 is the right way to go.
What do you think? He obviously, Desmond Bane being back should give him a boost. They're rested. But can they be trusted? One of the most inconsistent teams on the road here. How are you approaching it?
Well, I think it's proof that I don't hold grudges that I'm leaning towards Memphis here. Because like Rob, I was on them the other night. And to top that, I love I'll tell you what, my perfect 5% run in the NBA this season would not be existing right now if I had followed my inclination to go 5% on the first trip for them on this road trip. It was at Oklahoma City, and the number was 7 overnight. And I said, let me go 4% instead because I think this number is going to go double digits or close, and I don't want to get stuck with taking it down because I didn't think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was going to play second night of a back-to-back for Oklahoma City. Sure enough, he does not play. Line gets to 10, and they absolutely no-showed because the Morant ejection came very late in that second quarter, and I put it on him. He gave them nothing, settling for jump shots. He's got to be the juice for the Memphis Grizzlies, and he had nothing on the first game of this trip. I was telling Jay this morning when I did his show, maybe if it was a second or third game of the trip, I wouldn't have been as gung-ho about it because it is obviously Oklahoma City, probably the game that most teams look past in this league more than any other, maybe Orlando too. But the fact that it was the first game of this road trip that culminates on Christmas in a game you desperately want against the Warriors that features stops in Denver and Phoenix, a statement road trip, I expected them to really be gung-ho, especially coming back coming off of a 40-point win against Milwaukee. So very disconcerting what the Grizzlies did in that game. And as Rob mentioned, what they did most recently in Denver, where nobody showed up but Ja. But I do think they win this game tonight. And I think the fact that Chris Paul has to play catalyst on the offensive end just to give Phoenix a chance without Devin Booker, that makes him food for Ja Morant on the defensive end, because he's going to be fighting it physically in the second half. So I love Morant in the points and assists prop. Now, I didn't see it on DraftKings yet, and I was trying to bring it up to see what points and assists is for Ja tonight on another site. So we'll have to see. Let's see if I can bring that up really quickly. I actually only see I don't see Ja yet.
Not up there yet?
No, there it is. Points and assists. This points, rebounds, and assists, 41.5. So I would only go points and assists. I think in the paint, too many big bodies with Steven Adams and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Brandon Clark and whatnot, and all those guys trying to keep DeAndre Ayton stifled. Mikal Bridges and Ayton got into it the other night, and the Wizards lost. So a lot of acrimony there for the Phoenix Suns that I want no part of. So hopefully, fool me once, fool me twice, but don't fool me 3 times, Memphis. I would take the points, and I like the Ja points and assist prop.
All right, good stuff there. 6-2 to the under in the last 8 between these two teams. We'll see how this unfolds tonight. And, of course, let's talk about a total here tonight, because there's one on the board that, shall we say, I probably can't go high enough here, as the Lakers taking on Charlotte. Opened up at 235. Wasn't that cute? It's now 242 and probably continuing to rise, because let's face it, if you've ever met two teams and never seen what defense is, this game tonight probably for you, 242. I'd like to say it's too high, Andy, but is it really? Got to go with point props here too, no?
Yeah, let's just say the defense is going to be optional. I mean, think of the adjectives to describe the Charlotte Hornets defense. I mean, just atrocious, nauseating, pugnacious. I would even go with pugnacious as an adjective to describe Charlotte. Unfortunately, with Charlotte, I find them hard to figure out who's going to be doing what on this team, and I kind of sound like their fans and their coach. Like I don't know what they're gonna do tonight. I don't know who's gonna score. I mean, even LaMelo Ball, like, okay, 12 assists and 12 assists the last 2 games. You think, okay, he's really dishing the ball, but before that, 5 assists and 3 assists. So there's just inconsistency all over the board. What I do like about betting on this Lakers team from a prop perspective is, with Anthony Davis out, there's just a lot of stats to go around, and guys are absorbing them, and you can find some really good deals. By the way, Anthony Davis, not out for the season, Joe, but dreaded indefinitely.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you're going to give it time.
which means a long, long time. So this is an odd one, but the books haven't moved off this number. Patrick Beverley over 6.5 points. Since AD went out, he's had 9 or more points in 3 straight games. He's had 6, 8, and 7 shot attempts the last 3 games, which is a good amount for him. He's shooting over 60% from the field in those 3 games, 3 of 3 from the free throw line the last couple games. So, like we say, when someone like Anthony Davis comes out and there's 30 to 35 points and 15 to 17 rebounds available, other guys are going to grab a couple of those here and there. And as long as Patrick Beverley's at this 6.5 point mark and AD's out indefinitely, I'll take Beverley. I think this is a guy you can cash on. He's playing a good amount of minutes. He only needs a couple of shots to go down and a couple of free throws. So it's an obscure one, but with this low number, give me Beverley over his points.
Oh, I like it. All right, Pat Beverley tonight is where Andy's going to be focusing here in this. Well, I don't know. There isn't going to be any defense. I mean, is there going to be any defense whatsoever in this game on any level, anywhere? Are you going to play defense, Mahir? Because nobody else is.
I will not be playing defense. I will be watching to see if LeBron breaks 30 points for the 5th straight game, because he's certainly surging. And I think he's Yeah, he scored 33, 30, 33, 35, 33, and 31 over the last 4 games, and they've obviously split those games. The Celtics' performance was good, and the most recent performance was their poor game against the Kings. And I attribute that to not having Austin Reeves, who's the only person with a brain cell not named LeBron James on that roster. And it becomes, when Reeves isn't out there making hustle plays and doing smart things with the basketball, it's LeBron and the misfits with Russell Westbrook turning the ball over half the time. So I would not touch this game spread-wise if I don't see Reeves there. But we're talking total. It's a case of this getting a little too high. You're going to need P.J. Washington to snap out of his shooting slump for Charlotte to get there. And I believe we're going to get Dennis Smith Jr. back for the Hornets in addition to Terry Rozier. So that kind of quiets my want to go with LaMelo Ball points and assists over in his return to the LA area, because he wants to have a big night there, and I don't see anybody really stopping him. Schroeder, I guess, will be first up to try to do so, and then they got Pat Bev as well. So not a lot to love for me here, except for maybe a LeBron over his points prop, considering he's firing with Anthony Davis not in the mix.
Yeah, you got a good point. I mean, he has been on fire, and if we're going to get over 242 here, Vino, I'm going to assume LeBron's going to have another big night here. So we always we look for that line in the sand here, Vino. 242 with these two teams. Is it enough?
It's tough, Joe. I mean, Charlotte had 241.5 the other night against Sacramento, and they somehow made it to 244. So they could skim over. I would be scared to death to play under, but let me just say this. The Lakers are 11-3 over the total in their last 14 games, 11-3. So playing them over has been a consistent moneymaker. But in those 11 overs, only 5 of them have gone over 242. I mean, so the odds maker just keeps increasing where the Lakers are concerned, until the point, like you say, where do we draw the line? I don't know. I mean, I'd be anxious to play Lakers overs, but when the odds maker gives us these numbers, it becomes a little more difficult. To the point about LeBron, I'm not a prop player. I'm really not. I don't do it very often, but surprisingly, and I think I used LeBron on the show the other day, PRA, 3 of the last 4 of the last 5, whatever it is, he has just gone over that points, rebounds, and assists number real easily. They had it set at 41.5 for like 3 games in a row, and I kept winning. And then the last game, the most recent one, I think they jacked it up to 46.5. Still, he found his way up and over, I think. So, you can't really go wrong playing LeBron props unless you feel like they're going to be blown out and he may play 2.5 quarters and sit the rest of the way. That shouldn't be the case here against Charlotte. And with Charlotte, of course, there's no defending the way they defend, because, again, we'll reiterate, Steve Clifford had the massive meltdown. And since that meltdown, it hasn't gotten any better, Joe. I mean, the 2 days that I haven't been on this show, Charlotte's managed to add a 119 and a 126 to point totals allowed by their team. So they're not stopping anybody. LA's not stopping anybody. If I got to play, I got to play over until it's wrong.
Yep. No, it's the truth. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And these two teams, we can guarantee ain't going to be no defense there. But with this card here tonight, there's plenty of dogs barking here. Let's roll here, Robert. All right. Well, there you go. Go ahead, bring it in. I don't know what happened to our music, man. You guys just killed it. One day away, you guys just killed it.
My dog.
That's my dog. That's
dog.
it. God damn. All right, let's see what we got here tonight with these dogs. I mean, it's loaded in this card here. Even the Clippers are a dog tonight. Interesting. Houston, shocker. Indiana, Portland, Washington, Detroit. Where they belong, Chicago, so Minnesota, Milwaukee, teams we don't often see as a dog in spots find themselves in that role. So it's going to make choosing the dog here tonight interesting enough. So, Andy, which one of these dogs might be barking for you here?
Well, first off, I feel like Rob and I just nailed that drop. It sounded just like you couldn't tell the difference between the recording and us. So I mean, come on, Joe. Come on, it's my birthday and the Pacers are underdogs, and you're asking me who's my dog tonight? Of course, it's the Pacers. I truly I don't trust this Miami Heat team. They lost to Chicago. They beat San Antonio, Houston, Oklahoma City. They beat the Pacers before that, but only by 5 points. And the Pacers, they're in the middle of a tough stretch of games. Heat, Warriors, Cavs, Knicks, Celtics, and follow me on this one. They could be the happiest team in the NBA tonight. It is -7 degrees here in Indianapolis, and the scheduling gods scheduled them to be on the road in Miami.
Yes.
And then they get to stay down there for a game on Monday in New Orleans. They're going to miss every bit of this cold storm front. And honestly, what's the attendance going to be like at this Miami Heat game tonight on December 23rd with the Pacers coming to town? Who's going to this game? I think 6 points is way too much. Check the injury report. We got a couple questionable guys, but I think the Pacers are going to play pretty free. They're playing with confidence after the big win against the Celtics. 6 points, way too many teams, as the Heat are just not blowing anybody out. They're not winning by margin. So give me the Pacers +6 tonight in Miami.
All right. Love it. Heat are dead to me, so don't even know they're playing. Tony Mejia, talk to me here. We've got quite a few names on this list that we don't often see. So which dog barking for you tonight?
Yeah, a couple good teams out there, the Clippers, but I'm leery of them because they're switching coasts to play the beginning of this East Coast trip starting in Philly. Milwaukee, obviously a good team as well, but they probably won't have Chris Middleton again, and they've struggled of late in their big games. So I will ride the Portland Trailblazers, who have already split the first 2 meetings with the Denver Nuggets this season. Obviously, division mates that know each other well, friendly rivalry between former teammates Nikola Jokic and Yusuf Nurkic. And Michael Porter Jr. coming back for Denver, which isn't a good thing as he hunts shots and is a liability on defense. So given how well Damian Lillard is shooting the ball, how flammable Anthony Simons can be, and how porous the Denver Nuggets defense can be when they're playing a good offense, I will go ahead and take those points with the Portland Trailblazers.
All right, taking it with Portland here.
One quick thing.
Go ahead, shoot.
31.5 points is the LeBron's number tonight. 46.5 is PRA.
PRA. Okay, good. All right, good stuff there. Right around target there. Vino. Boy, oh boy, to pick it a litter, Vino, you got a little something for everybody in here. I don't see any ones or pick'ems, so you're screwed. So tell me, which one of these dogs are you looking at here, Vino?
The real reason why I'm screwed, Joe, is because you had me follow somebody named Tony again. If I follow a Tony, they'll take my play, and I won't be able to use it. So I agree with Tony Mejia.
Yep.
The Blazers I would have rattled off some stuff, but now I won't. And I'll just switch back to the game we just talked about. Why not take Charlotte plus points? I mean, it's just going to be an absolute score fest. And I think at this point in time, I mean, we're picking from bottom of the barrel teams here, but Charlotte, to me, is the more talented team, the deeper team, the more cohesive team. Neither one's going to play defense, so who's going to get me the most points? And they're getting points as well. I'll ride the Charlotte Hornets here in that game, Joe, plus the points.
Can't argue with you on that. Plenty of dog opportunities tonight. They will be barking, but let's see about some best bets here tonight. I was going to say, I want to see you sing that there. Yeah. All right, let's get to it here. 60 seconds on the clock. Loaded card here tonight in the association. Andy, birthday boy, kick us off. 60 seconds. Doesn't mean your ass ain't going to get buzzed if you don't follow the rules. So where are you going for a best bet tonight?
4% NFL best bet of the weekend is up, as well as a loaded card in the NBA tonight. Let me tell you how my birthday's been going. So we get a storm right as my birthday starts midnight last night, -7, snow everywhere, ice everywhere. Also, I live in a condo, share a wall with my next door neighbor. She decided to have some plumbing done this week and had a couple of her pipes capped. Well, they managed to cap her pipes and mine.
Oh.
I have no water to my shower and bathtub upstairs. You try getting a plumber out here on Christmas weekend and see how that goes. Happy birthday to me. All right. So for my birthday present to myself, I'm going to take Russell Westbrook over 6.5 rebounds. We talked about how many stats are available for this Lakers team since AD went out. Westbrook has had 9, 11, and 14 rebounds. Charlotte attempts the most field goal attempts per game. We went over the total. Should be a lot of attempts and a lot of rebounds. Give me Russ over his rebound total.
Boom! All right. Expecting Russ to go off here tonight. Wouldn't be shocking at all. Mahia, talk to us. 60 seconds on the clock. Which one of these did you circle here tonight?
Oh, well, first of all, Merry Christmas Eve to all. I thought Andy Lang was going with an X-rated birthday story there, talking about neighbors and
laying pipe, right? I heard it.
Good job, man. All right, be rated. And so check out the Wager Talk TikTok channel if you want to see me in a Cat in the Hat as I give out a Sunday Christmas NFL prop. So be on the lookout for that. Lots of stuff this weekend, obviously, with college football, NFL, and NBA. Wishing you and yours the best of holidays. I am going to unwrap the Spurs and Magic over tonight. San Antonio has Keldon Johnson back in the lineup. Darius Vassell's been playing well. Jakob Poeltl is back in the mix, and the over has hit in 4 of their last 5 games. At this point, they've been playing pretty good basketball, at least competitively, watchable at least. And the Magic have been really good of late. Their last 2 games have gone over, and they get Wendell Carter Jr. back. So over 227 points in Spurs Magic.
Not on you with that. Love that angle. And how about it, Vino? Shot quality numbers are in. 60 seconds on the clock. Tell us where you're rolling here tonight.
Generally, I use my best bet portion of the show to go over one of the games we've discussed on the show, but I'm going to go off the board today, Joe. And if I wanted to talk for 6 minutes, I would use Houston, and I would be granted those 6 minutes, but I don't want to take Houston, so I'll stick with the 45 seconds I have left here and take Sacramento over Washington. Washington's just in a bad scheduling spot. 6th road game in the last 10 days. Been out west for quite a while. Point was brought up to me this afternoon that a lot of these teams with Christmas 2 days from now may not even care tonight. And who could care less than the Wizards, who have been on the road for 10 days now? Just get us home. They probably won't have Porzingis again. They're in a back-to-back situation on top of the 6 and last 10. And last night, guys, they shot better than 56% from the field and still managed to lose by 8 and not cover against the Jazz. Here they're getting 9. Sacramento's rested. I think Sacramento comes out. They've shown ability to win by margin. I think they do tonight.
Love it. We got ourselves one heck of a card here tonight, guys, to choose from. Plenty of winners on the board. Let's recap it here as Andy's dog tonight. Shocker. I bet you their pipes aren't capped there. Indiana +6 here in Miami. And his best bet is going to be Westbrook over 6.5 rebounds here tonight. While Tony Mejia, he likes Portland and Denver tonight getting 4.5. That's his dog. But San Antonio and Orlando do not anticipate this one going under. He likes up and over. While Vino, Charlotte, why not? I mean, lined at 287,000 points. Why not Charlotte winning? Take the 3. Best bet, though, Sacramento to handle business against a road-weary Washington Wizards team. And the contrarian gods, they're going to go to Toronto tonight, +4.5 against the red-hot Cleveland Cavaliers. And don't forget, guys, opportunity to get 25% off any package here for any one of these gentlemen over at WagerTalk.com. Just use the code GIFT25. That's right, GIFT25 at checkout. We'll give you 25% off any purchase here from these guys. Those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages, absolutely the way to go. So much happening here this weekend. Really, until right through New Year's here, guys. Plenty of opportunities to make it a very profitable end to 2022. Use that code GIFT25 at checkout. And that'll do it. Big happy birthday to Andy Lang once again. And of course, on behalf of all of us here at Wager Talk and the NBA Tip-Off Show, we want to wish you and yours a very happy, a very safe Christmas and holiday season. Christmas ending on a Sunday, so very weird. We'll be back again on Monday here, and plenty of action next week as we get ready for the new year. But until then, on behalf of Andy, Rob, and we got Willie the White Lab and Tony Mejia, we want to thank you guys again. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Best of luck with all your plays, guys. We'll talk to you again next week. Good luck.
In the spirit of the holidays, we want you to celebrate with your favorite Wager Talk or Sports Memo handicappers, and do it at a discount by giving you a one-time 25% off everything you can fit into your cart between now and midnight on December 25th using coupon code GIFT25 when checking out. While this coupon can only be used once at Wager Talk and once at Sports Memo, the value is unlimited and there is no limit on what you can add to your cart when redeeming. Daily, all access, season, pick your team, and even mix and match handicappers as the combinations are endless. Remember, there is no limit to the number of handicappers at Wager Talk and Sports Memo you can lock in, but coupon code GIFT25 will expire at midnight on Christmas. On behalf of everyone at Wager Talk, Sports Memo, and Gold Sheet, we want to thank you for supporting us in 2022 by watching our videos, following us on social media, and trusting us with your wagers. However you celebrate, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.